Hi guys. Hey, it's Wildy, and I'm going to do some creative exercises with you today involving drawing. So these are relaxation, stress relieving types of exercises with zero skill level required. So just have fun with it. This is just to enjoy, and I'm going to walk you through some creative exercises. You know, we got to exercise the body, we got to exercise the mind. This is for both, and the spirit, the soul, because, you know, life is not as interesting without some soul fulfilling experiences. So I'll lead you through a journey of drawing shapes, lines, and just a discovery. So have fun with it, let yourself go. Don't beat yourself up, because it's not about right or wrong. That's the cool thing about art. In my opinion, there is no right and wrong with your artwork. It is just you getting involved, losing yourself in the moment. So go with it. You own it. I'm gonna say pause or give you time to work in between movements. So, and I'm gonna also suggest lots of things you can do beyond this work. So this video should take you through about 30 minutes of drawing experience, and then beyond that, I would like to see you spending about 30 minutes working independently and developing your own ideas and taking it to the next level. So that's an enrichment section where you're just becoming more rich. Okay, that's the way I think of it. So right now, I'm gonna set my timer. Okay, all you need for this, a couple pieces of paper. We'll say each person needs about 2 pages of paper and access to possibly more. A pencil, a pen, whatever it is you want to use. I'm going to use this dark China marker. I do not know why they call it that. It doesn't make sense, but it's going to enable you to see what I'm doing better. We're going to start with working with circles. And so why don't we just pause for a minute, and you guys make sure that you gather at least 2 sheets of regular paper, whatever size. I'm using copy paper right now, and a pencil or a pen or a tool for now. Okay, you need a drawing tool. And then meet me back here in 2 minutes, okay? Okay, so we're back, and in order to start this, we're going to need a square. So if I start folding these into rectangles, okay, rewind, please. Let me start that over. In order to begin, let's take our first page, and let's just go with some meditation of circles, okay? Circles, ovals, whatever. It does not have to be perfect. This is just you letting go. And I like to think about using my elbow and my shoulder. Your elbow is your fulcrum, and your shoulder as well. So when you're making circles, these arcs are the same. They should be the same and opposite. So for example, rather than fixing my arm on the table, I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna pull this up off. I'm gonna grip my pencil carefully and yet loosely, and not way down here. This is tight and this is not relaxed. So we're gonna relax, we're gonna hold the pencil back here, and I would like to see you just work with some motions, and I want you to draw circles touching each other, all sizes. They don't have to touch each other. How about that? There's an oval. Ovals are just circles that have been slightly elongated. And you can try to go to the left, try to go to the right, and fill your page with circles. While you're at it, you can compose your page in an interesting way. So my composition is now involving all sizes of circles and ovals, touching, not touching. I'm noticing that the edge, I have not run off the edge yet. So composition is how I arrange the page. And my composition's okay right now, it's not that strong. How about yours? Let's keep going and we will work. I'm gonna run some of these off the page. And the object is not to fill the paper with circles, but to draw circles and ovals that will fill the page in an interesting way. So right now I'll give you about 5 minutes or less to work on that, okay? All right, so let's pause and take your time, breathing. You can work slowly. For some reason, I like to draw mine going counterclockwise. I don't know about you, but you should try it. If your circles look like junk, don't worry about it. That's not the point. Just breathe and let your arm and hand and brain get into it. Sometimes I like to just feel that motion. Okay, circles within circles. This is a warm-up exercise, okay? We're just warming up. Can you keep them equidistant from the edges of the last? You know, that's something to think about, okay? So I'll give you about 5 minutes now. Okay, so we're back and you have filled your page with beautiful circles, curvilinear shapes. Can you guys remember the diameter of the circle and the circumference? The diameter would be the measurement from the center to the outside. Math and art are a lot, well, they're joined in many ways, but so we're doing geometry right now. It's much more fun though, to me, but I like math too. Okay, so your page is full of circles. Good job. Now, circles are tough, they're difficult, but so many things are made of circles that it's important to just get practice drawing them. And so now I want to do a little enrichment exercise to help you work on making more perfect circles. Now, We're not really looking for perfect, as I said before, but I want to show you a tool that will help your circles be more circular, okay? So circles can fit nicely inside of squares because of the equal sides. And because a circle circumference is equidistant or equal from the center point. All the radii are equidistant or equal. All of these are infinite, or are there 360? Infinite. So the square also has equal edges. And that's one reason. Now you don't need to draw this. This is just a depiction of why we're about to make some squares. Now we could use a ruler and measure out squares, but no. The reason I'm going to turn this paper into a square is because then when we fold it, we'll have a bunch of squares. Right now, if I fold this, I will have rectangles upon rectangles. So let's turn a rectangle into a square really quickly and easily by taking the short edge and folding it over against the long edge. And you don't even have to crease that, okay? But I'm gonna give it a little crease because here is the extra part that we're going to cut off or tear off. So I'm gonna tear mine off. I'm gonna fold this extra rectangle that we don't need over to the front and the back. Now I'm creasing that rectangle with my fingernails, and I'm gonna keep folding it back and forth and creasing it to weaken that line. So we don't need scissors. We're just gonna use our creasing. I have a fingernail, so that's pretty handy, but just use your finger and keep creasing that until it feels flimsy. And now then I'm gonna put my hand firmly right up against that line. Keep this finger right near the edge, and that tears right off. So now we have our square. Excuse me. Okay, moving along, let's fold this one because we want a bunch of squares in a grid for this exercise to make our circles a little more circular. So let's fold in half once, line up those edges, crease it, and in half twice, and in half thrice, and fold it in half again. It's the third time. And in half thrice. No, that's not a word. 4 times. It's getting kind of thick, but that's all right. Just do your best. Take your time. And don't panic. Okay. All right, so now I have folded this 4 times and I have a bunch of squares in a grid. And that's what we're looking for right now. You don't have to draw those squares in. That's fine, you just leave them the way they are. But we're gonna use those to create a circle inside of each one. Now, inside of each one, we need a circle. So let's find the middle of each edge. I'm going to mark the center of each edge. Okay, what happens there? Those are the outermost points of our circle, of our curve. And our curve is going to, so that's basically the diameter from the center to the edge. So what I'm going to do now is connect those with curves. okay? I'm just going to cut off the corners with my curves, hitting the outside with each outermost point. I like to turn my paper too. Now I'm going clockwise. That's strange. All right, it's not great, but it's a different way to make a circle, and it might be helpful. And I think the different way is what is good for your brain, the creative problem solving. So now let's do that in every box. Remember, it helps to find the edges of the center of each outer edge. Oh, where is that? So then, when you're drawing your circles, that one worked a lot better. Okay, so these should always be touching the 4 outer points. Are they touching the corners? No. We're basically drawing the corners out. If you don't have these little marks on the halfway point, it's hard to know where to turn, where to keep your curve flowing. So try both ways and see what you think, okay? Sometimes it's easier to go one direction or the other. So like, yeah, I'm going counterclockwise again. Whatever's natural for you, okay? So how many, we folded our paper 4 times, so we're gonna have how many circles to do in this area? 4 times 4, we're gonna have 16 circles. So I'll give you like 5 minutes or less, 4 minutes to work on this, okay? Take your time. When you're done and other people are still working, just focus. You might want to go ahead and draw inside of some of these circles if you wish while you're waiting, okay, on others to finish. And I'll see you back here in about 5 minutes or less, okay? All right, so now we're back. I'm gonna still work on this, but you should have all your circles finished and you're ready for whatever's gonna happen inside of each one. Let's take it to the next level, okay? So far, we've got this opportunity, we've got an interesting grid set up and an opportunity to do something inside of these. What should it be? What could it be? Well, I'm going to share something with you that I think I want you to try and that you might enjoy, okay? I enjoy doing it too. The eyeball is a sphere. So we're going to turn these into spheres, okay? 3D circles. Right now they're just 2-dimensional, they're flat. But when we start to wrap around, we're going to have, turn them into spheres, and we're going to show the contour of the wrapping around the curved edge. It's called a contour line. So let me show you first, and then you can proceed with me and in addition to me. So what I want to do now is do a curve from the outside edges that basically wraps around, okay? This is one way to show that this is a sphere, is just by drawing a contour line that goes around. And let's practice doing that on some of these. Okay, what happens is it starts to look like an eyelid. Yes, so a radial pattern repeats around. I probably said diameter earlier, and I was wrong. I messed up. So if you want to practice this contour around the sphere, go for it. Try it out. Also, what's going to happen in all of your other circles, after you've drawn the curves going around, I want these to represent eyeballs and eyes. And the fun thing that I like to do, honestly, with this is to fill each one with a different kind of an eye. Snake eye, human eye, dragon eye, whatever, cat eye. So you can have the two eyelids be the same, be different. You don't even need to have two. But remember that inside, under the lids, is the iris. And then the black pupil inside. So under the lid, if you can get the iris circle, the colored circle, to look like it is under, it will be disappearing on the top and the bottom. Let me show what I mean. Okay, let's see. Here is the basic circle, and then we have the upper lid and the lower lid. That's what these are representing. It's just a fun exercise, okay? Not like it's gonna be perfect or that it even has a point other than being a fun experience, okay? So now the iris, I could have it touching, more circles. I could have it touching, but when you look in the mirror, you'll notice that your iris is under your lids. It's under one or two or both, okay? Up, it's hiding part of it. So how that looks and works is, I'm gonna go ahead and expand it. So now it's under, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and draw the interior, which is the pupil. Concentric circles are circles within circles. Now for my pupil, I'm gonna show a little glint of light in there, okay? It might be whatever shape, but mine's just gonna be a circle in there. It's the light reflecting from the room off of my iris. I mean my pupil, off the pupil. Okay, now I'm gonna work on the iris and give it some iris-like texture, because when you look carefully into the iris, you're gonna see all types of cool fibers, fibrous materials, and who knows what's really in there, but it's beautiful. So I'm just doing these radiating lines. I'm going too fast. I want you to take your time on this kind of stuff. And I might even go ahead and incorporate it into this, because what I was saying earlier was I want your iris to be hiding under the lids. So let me just expand that and use the whole circle that's visible, because some of it is invisible under the lids. Repeat, repeat, repeat. It's a radial pattern. Okay, so here's my human-like eye. Develop these guys into different kinds of eyes. You know, the cat eye will have a possible football-shaped pupil. Snake eye will have a wedge. Part of, like, only see the bottom part of the eye, of the iris, okay? So remember, just play around with that and have a good time with it. When you've finished, you've still got the back side of this first more organic pattern of circles. I wonder what you can do with this. Take it to the next level. And on the back side also, further enrichment would be to draw circles and turn them into things that are made of circles. Like, what can you make out of circles? Really glad to be here with you. Thank you for having me in your program and in your day. I hope you are all well, and I will see you next time, okay? Wildy's World, Wildy Self on YouTube. This one is especially for you all, okay? That's my channel for you guys. All right.